honest with you, it's kind of one of those things where you don't think it's going to happen to you type deal until it does.
18 break-ins at the Gregory Cove apartments in Arlington in just a matter of months. Many people who live there are asking how they can keep their families safe and why is their community being targeted so often. We wanted to find out after break-ins, what are renters' rights?
Channel 4's Kumasi Aaron covering all the angles tonight, from a family fighting to break its lease to the safety of protecting yourself and the ones you love.
The father I spoke with had his apartment busted into. He has 2 young sons and a wife who are home alone when he goes to work. Tonight, he's scared for their safety.
Hi, my house was just broken into.
Okay, how long ago?
It had to have only been about 10 minutes ago. I've been out of the house for about 20 minutes.
Okay, what's the address?
I live at Gregory Cove Apartments.
That's the call Rama Payne's wife made to 911 when she got back to their apartment on June 6th and realized someone had been inside.
And as soon as she stepped through the threshold, she saw the wooden piece broken off, laying on the floor, and then realized we had gotten broken into. And she couldn't have been gone for all of maybe 15 minutes.
She'd just taken the couple's young twin boys to the store. Now the family's computer, TV, gaming systems were all gone, and police were calling to let her know they were on the way.
When she was on the phone with that police officer, he literally told her that he was at another crime scene within my apartment complex, another burglary, and that when he was done with that one, he would come over here.
We found out the break-in at Payne's apartment was the second one in the Gregory Cove complex that day. In fact, over a 2-month span, 18 apartments were broken into. In May, we spoke with a woman right after her apartment was burglarized.
Took all of the electronics, 5 game systems, all iPods, iPod touches. They just took everything that was valuable.
She's since moved out. There were also other failed attempts to bust in storage units at the complex, proof in these pictures sent to us from another resident who came home to discover the gaps in the door.
You cannot be passive about your security.
Channel 4 crime and safety analyst Ken Jefferson says if intruders have been in your house one time, they know the layout, what you have, and they may come back. He showed Payne just how easily that could happen.
I'm just going to shake it to show you how easy it is to shake. That's just how much play you got in this door. So without thinking, I can use my shoulder, I can use my foot to kick my way in and come in.
Jefferson says this is something everyone should look at, whether they've been burglarized or not. He says make sure your door is tightened, otherwise your lock is ineffective. Jefferson also suggests a more expensive deadbolt lock, specifically a double-cylinder lock and an alarm system. But without a system, Jefferson says a noisemaker is a great option.
You can put the noisemaker here. If someone breaches the door, it's going to make a lot of noise, just like an alarm. It's going to wake you up. It's going to alert you that someone or an intruder is in the house.
Payne says his complex sent out this security notice and had police patrol for about a week. But he believes they should have done more to keep residents safe. So he asked his property manager to let him out of the lease.
When I asked her about that, she told me, well, if everybody that got broken into wanted to move out of your apartment or out of their apartment, we wouldn't have any residences.
Payne says apartment management told him he'd have to go through normal procedure, give 60 days notice, and pay an additional 1 month's rent. That's more than $2,000. Payne says he's so concerned about his family's safety, he wants to break his lease and leave, but he's worried about what that might mean for his credit and his future. We had attorney Ed Burke take a look at the lease.
The landlord is saying, you know, if you agree to this contract, you're going to agree that we're not going to be liable for not providing a secure environment. Well, that's contrary to the law.
According to Burke, the law says the landlord has to provide a reasonably safe environment for tenants.
If the property is uninhabitable, the law does allow him to break the lease without further obligation. But there are a lot of questions in there about, you know, whether the property is actually uninhabitable.
Burke says it would be up to a judge and jury to decide if the break-ins make an apartment uninhabitable. Lawsuits can be costly, so Burke recommends trying to work something out with your landlord. The tenant's first step, according to state law, is giving a written notice to the landlord. which gives them 7 days to fix the issue.
And that's the beginning of, the legal process to say, look, here's the defect, here's the reason that this apartment is uninhabitable because of the lack of security. I want you to do something about it.
If the landlord fails to provide a safe living environment, Burke says a tenant could break their lease, but risk a hit to their credit or a lawsuit from their landlord. But if the tenant goes to court and wins, they would not be responsible for any court costs or fees. Payne says whatever decision he makes, this experience has made him more aware of his surroundings and who he talks to.
It's put me on edge, and that was my one saving grace, was thank God they weren't home.
I've been investigating this neighborhood crime alert for months now, reaching out on several occasions to the company that manages Gregory Cove Apartments as well as the owner. Well, I finally heard back today. While the on-site management company has so far not allowed the tenant we spoke with out of his lease, the property owner notified me today and said the complex would allow any of the burglarized residents out of their leases without penalty. Meantime, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office does confirm to Channel 4 there is a suspect in this case who's being held on unrelated charges, telling us the break-ins have stopped since this person has been behind bars. Kamasi Aaron, Channel 4, the local station.